What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Best Bet Show. It's your boy Matty Chucks and Austin's Props. It was a cold day for Austin yesterday, weather-wise, not plays-wise, weather-wise. It was snowing over there in Oregon. It's still cold as hell over there. But we have him here today. Austin, how you feeling this morning?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm staying inside, staying warm. Cold as hell. We had a few inches of snow last night, so boxed in. But yeah, didn't get to make the show yesterday. My Wi-Fi was going in and out, and it just was like not worth trying to and having me disconnect and come back in. So I'm here now. It should hold up pretty well, and I'm excited, man. I really like these two games, and I really like the NBA slate. So I'm excited for today. How about you?
Yeah, no, I'm pumped. This is my favorite day in regards to the NFL playoffs. I think the Rams-Lions game is going to be great. I think the Cowboys-Packers has a lot of great stuff for props and for honestly everything. This guy said, happy National Cowboys Elimination Day to all of you. Austin will appreciate that. We got Brother Rob, as always, supporter of the show. Everyone is in saying, Daddy Austin, love Oregon.
Let's go.
Good afternoon, Abuse. The vibes are high. The vibes are high for sure. I'm super excited. Again, like I said, these two games should be great. If the Packers can keep it competitive, it should be another awesome game. We know the Cowboys are shaky in the playoffs. They've been great at home. Let's see if they can prove it. But either way, it should be two good games today. Let's talk about the Packers and Cowboys first. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed. Again, it's almost baseball season coming up as well, where me and Austin post a lot more stuff, as well as more NBA videos once football is over. So hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss a show. Matty Chucks the Go. I'm going to put that up there just because I feel like that should be said more. But we got a comment saying, what's the lock of the day? Packers, Cowboys. Let's get right into it. Packers +7, Cowboys -7, over under 51. Do you have a side and total lean before we get into the props?
I do. I think Dallas at home has just been so good, man. Like they really are. But then like it's no secret Dak in the playoffs. And I think it's fair to say Dak has had better competition that he's had to face in the playoffs prior. And I also think this is probably Dallas's best team he's kind of had. Not just in star players, but like in depth alone. This team has a lot of good quality. Like Michael Gallup is their fourth receiver. Like that's a good player. You know what I mean? Like Rico Dowdle, solid. Like they got a lot of like
solid, is pretty solid.
Exactly. A lot of solid guys that aren't their necessarily key guys. And so I just think they're a better team. 7 is an interesting line. I think it's likely this line could be pushed at 7, to be honest. So I would lean Dallas, but I think Green Bay keeps it close. Like I really like what Green Bay has shown, and they're fully healthy. They haven't had very many games where they've had Aaron Jones, Luke Musgrave, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Dontravian Wicks, Jaden Reed. Like they haven't had a game with all those guys. I know AJ Dillon's out, but like that's not super crazy. So I'm interested to see how they attack. And from a prop perspective, I really struggled picking on the Packers side.
I agree. The one thing is too is they're finally healthy, but also like how much is the chemistry going to be there? Because I feel like they've been injury riddled all season long. At full peak, fully healthy, this team can compete with anybody. The only problem is that I just don't know if I can see. Like, I'm not going to bet Luke Musgrave because I don't know how much snaps he's going to get. Like, I don't know what I'm going to get. If I'm going to pick one Packers guy, it's probably someone like Reed. I put him in some of my parlays, but I do think you're right. This Cowboys team has been healthy the entire season. You know what they're going to get. They're going to CeeDee Lamb's going to get his. Ferguson's going to get his. You may get a sneaky Brandon Cooks. You may get a sneaky Tony Pollard something, but you kind of have an easier way of seeing what you like. We're both on this play, so we can talk about it. Tony Pollard, over 14.5 rush attempts. And this line's been moving up and down a little weird for me, but I still love it. The Cowboys, it's hard to price this line if you're the books because there's been so many blowouts. Like you can't look at his game log and price this line because you look at his game log and there's like, oh, he stopped at 14. It's like, oh, well, they were up 35. So Dowdle got a lot of reps. Like there's a lot of just different games where if they lost, it was a blowout. Like it was a lot of these games weren't that close, but I'm looking at my notes pulled up right here. When the game has been decided by 20 points or less, he's 6-2 the number. When they win by 20 points or less, he's 5-0 this year. I think he soars over if the game is close and they're up 7-14 the entire game. You could add on to that but that's my main reasoning right there.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't have the matchups, but week 1, here, I'll pull them up real quick. Do you have their schedule pulled up? Pull up their schedule real quick for me, because I have, I didn't write the games down, but I have 7 interesting stats that if you can pull their schedule up.
I have his game log up.
Okay, so week 1, who did he play?
The Giants.
Yeah, so he had 14 carries. His last carry was at 14:27.
Yeah, they're up 40-0.
Exactly. Week 3, he had 11 carries. His last carry was 4:24 in the third quarter.
Yeah, they're up 38-3. That was week 4, but yeah, same deal.
Week 7, 12 carries, last touch, 2:20 in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Like, they're basically, these games are showing that, like, they'll bench him if they're up early. So we're really concerned about that. I think the 7-point spread shows that it should stay close, but that's my, I think, biggest fear if this one misses is they get up too early and they know they're playing next week and they just Rico Dowdle. You know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest concern. But I mean, 15 touches for a guy that's hitting 3 of the last 4. He's starting to get going. Like, what's there not to love? You know,
he said in the playoffs, you got to run that thing. He said it. I quote tweeted it in my write up. He basically said, you got to run it. It's cold. Even though it's in a dome, the weather's still cold. It's still playoff football, and they run the ball. And I think, too, a good live bet might be if they have some Dowdle live props and the Cowboys are up like 20 in the third, you may have a good snipe on some Dowdle props. I doubt the books will leave that low-hanging fruit for you to grab, but I think Pollard's going to be used insanely, and if they keep this game close, it's going to be a sore as long as they're winning.
Yeah. If he stays healthy and the game stays close within a score and they're winning, he's going to soar over this one. I also, another prop I didn't post, I don't think I'm going to post it, is Dak Prescott under 290 pass yards. I don't think in this game with the script there's enough room for him to throw for 300 yards. I really don't. The Packers are going to have to put up points, but if they don't allow those 2-3 big 80-yard plays from the Cowboys, the clock's going to just run. There's not enough time. You know what I mean? Like, there's not enough time in the game for him to go for 300 if the clock is running consistently and they're using Pollard. So, I mean, they're correlated. If Pollard's not being utilized, Dak's going to soar over his passing yards. But if Pollard's getting 20 rush attempts, it's pretty likely Dak's not throwing for 300 yards.
I agree. And I do think the Packers are going to want to control the clock. You don't want to go in a shootout with the Cowboys. If they can establish the run game early, I've seen a lot of guys on Aaron Jones unders, but if this game is close, I think Aaron Jones soars over because they're going to run him first, second down. You know, they're going to run him a lot early. You want the Cowboys to not have the ball in their hands. And the best way to do that is to run the clock. If they can establish their run game, there's no way he's throwing for 300 yards because there's not going to be that much time. They're going to be running clock.
Exactly.
Texans and the Browns yesterday. And the clock was dead every 2 seconds because they just threw the ball every single time before the blowout. Like, you just saw, like, I think there was like a ton of drives in the first quarter because the clock was always stopped.
Oh, it was insane. I was on CJ Stroud's over pass attempts, and I was getting chirped for it. He had 11 pass attempts in the first quarter. Comes out in the second quarter, throws one play to Brevin Jordan, 80 yards to the house, pulls him off. And then 3 plays, John Mechie, 40-yarder, and then Nico Collins, 50-yarder touchdown. So it was 4 plays, 2 touchdowns. And it's like, that's how it could go. How likely is it we see a track meet like that 2 days in a row when we haven't seen it all season like that? You know what I mean? Offense has been a little bit down. So I kind of lean the scripts we've projected today rather than what we saw last night or yesterday.
I agree. I was going to say, I also like do you touch CeeDee Lamb in this spot, or do you just
he's a beast. Like, the guy is so good, and he's shown that. I know there's been some people that tried to say he wasn't a wide receiver 1 before the year. That's ridiculous. CeeDee Lamb is so good, and the connection's clearly there. This is a guy that watches all Dallas games. I'm a diehard Eagles fan. I know. You know what I mean? 100 yards is what I'm seeing the line, 100.5. A little high. You know what I mean? Like, that's just tough to, no matter who you're betting on, especially if they get up early. But if this game stays close, I think he soars that too.
Does anyone in this chat have a CeeDee Lamb rushing yards prop? Because I think he runs once or twice in the playoffs. Like,
gets a reverse or something.
I don't see that prop anywhere. They had it 1 week. It was like over like 1 attempt or something. And I would love to hit that prop if any books want to open that up, because I think the teams get cheeky, especially the Cowboys. I think that they'll try that once or twice. I am. I'll talk about this real quick. I am on Brandon Aubrey over 1.5 field goals. You can't play the line anymore. It's like minus 160 or whatever. But in primetime home games, he's 3-0. The only games he missed, they had 7 touchdowns and 5 touchdowns. I don't think this Packers team gives up 5 and 7 touchdowns, but I do like the field goals. I think they move the ball with ease, and I think they get in position. And the dude's been unbelievable, literally.
He's been unreal.
Unbelievable. So that's what I like in this game. In the parlay I had, I did have Jaden Reed receptions on the Packers side. I do like a Jordan Love over 9.5 rush yards as a lean. I was going to do that myself. Did you know that Jordan Love leads the Packers in rushing touchdowns this year too?
That's wild. That's because all the injuries they've had and all the guys missing.
Aaron Jones just doesn't score either.
Yeah, doesn't get in. Another prop I was eyeing, and it's going to hit if he's playing like consistent, is Luke Musgrave, 15.5 receiving yards. He's hitting 6 of 6 on the road this season. It's legit going to hit if he plays. The reason I didn't want to touch him is because Tucker Kraft is still there, and they have him projected 10 more receiving yards than Musgrave. So I kind of feel like books know something. Maybe he's not fully healthy, so I'm staying away. But if you're looking for another lean spot, I think that's a good look.
I agree. We have 4.5 yards rushing land prop. Let me know what book that is because I'd love that. Low key, I was going to do this. I'm not saying Jordan Love's going to score guaranteed, but his price is ridiculous. I'm not going to lie. And
all you need is a sneak.
That's what I'm saying. I think they're gonna, or he'll, if they get into the red zone about the 5, he has shown he's willing to run it in. But that's it for that game. Let's talk about our first touchdown scorer. You pick one, I'll pick one. I know how I'm picking first, so you can't steal it. It's over plus 1,000. I got plus 1,200. Brandon Cooks. He's scoring first without a doubt, like guaranteed.
Yeah, I like that one. I'll go Christian Watson on the other side if he gets the ball first. I just think he's the most likely threat to go get one. So at 2,200, I'll go Christian Watson.
I like it. Can't complain. Any other questions on this game? If we're not, we're going to go to the Rams and Lions. I'll wait a second. I guess I'll just lean into it, actually. I only have one play in this game. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to get a lot of shade for this. I like the Rams a lot in this spot. I'll talk about sides and totals first. You got a 3-point spread. This is my favorite storyline game. I get the Cowboys and McCarthy versus the Packers, blah, blah, blah. But I love the Rams and the Lions. I think the Rams, I think Sean McVay is the better coach. You could say what you want. I like Dan Campbell. I love his style. But I do think that Sean McVay is the better coach. I think he's obviously has more playoff experience. Matt Stafford, going to love playing in Detroit. I think the Lions are the better team, but I wouldn't be shocked to see a McVay masterclass. And I think I like the Rams +3. I like the Rams on the money line. Personally, I'm probably going to bet it. I don't like it enough to make it an official play, but I want you guys to know I'm probably on that side. That being said, it leads to my first prop. DeMarcus Robinson, longest reception over 19.5 yards. And this is hitting. I'm just going to be honest. If I had to put a word lock on any bet, this is it. The dude has been unbelievable the last 5 weeks. A lot of eyes on Cooper Kupp, a lot of eyes on Puka. We all know the deal. I think the guys like Higbee, the guys like Robinson are going to show out today because I think there's too many eyes there, and they're going to make these guys try to beat them. That's the only way you can beat this Rams team, unless you score 40 on them, which they're capable of. But if you want to stop their offense, you're going to have to let these guys beat them. And when he has 3+ targets this season, he's 5-0. His reception line is 3.5. If we just get 3 targets, he's 5-0. If he gets 3 catches, he's 4-0 on the year. He's a deep ball threat. Cooper Kupp's going to get the volume. Puka's going to get the volume. Marcus Robinson's averaging the most yards per catch he has in his career because he knows his role in this team. Matt Stafford uses him kind of like that Van Jefferson style third wide receiver. I love this spot.
Yeah, no, I saw you post that last night. It might have been this morning. Really like that look. I think that's a super creative line that you're not going to see a ton of people on, but it clearly holds value. I also noted that Matt Stafford's line is 39.5 for longest completion. So, I mean, you don't even need his longest, 20 yards is all you need to even be half that. He's going to be airing the ball out, Vegas thinks. So I like that look a ton. On the other note too, that Rams running game, they're going to try to get him the ball, Kieran Williams. They're going to try early, but this Lions team, man, they haven't allowed one rusher over 20 rush attempts. They've been really good at stopping the run. I think McVay's a good coach, man. He's got to realize to beat this team, you're going to air it out. They have one of the worst secondaries in football the last 6 weeks. They're banged up. They got CJ GJ back, but I I think this is going to be a Matt Stafford 300+ yard passing game where he gets his guys involved. And that leads me to Tyler Higbee on my side. I'm playing Higbee's 28 or 27.5 receiving yards. I would play it at 28.5 if your book has it there. Just tight ends have dominated him. 8th most yards allowed to opposing tight ends. The last 5 weeks, Johnny Munt, 5 catches, 58 yards. Jake Ferguson, 4 catches, 66 yards. TJ Hawkinson, 4 catches, 58 yards. Josh Oliver, 1 catch, 33 yards. Cole Kmet, 5 catches, 66 yards. Foster Moreau, 2 catches, 28 yards. 6 of the last 7 starting tight ends have covered. I just feel like there's a lot of ways this goes over. And Higbee, 6 of 7, he's covered this on away games this season. 11 of 16 on the year. So, I mean, the hit rate's there. The matchup's there. I love the spot. Not everyone's going to be on it, but I just think it makes a lot of sense. I know he's questionable, but it's a playoff game. He's a playoff player. He's shown that before. I lean that he plays. If he doesn't, we get a DMP, but I think this is a great spot.
I like it too. I think finding value in the other guys is the spot for this game. I think this game is going to be a shootout. Obviously we have 2 dome games today, which is great. And 2 fairly high totals. I mean, 52.5 and 51.5. I think both games are going to have a lot of overs for passing props. As you know, it's good to see after that Chiefs Dolphins game. But those are our plays. Do you have anything else on that Rams game?
No, nothing too crazy. I liked Kyron Williams' under rush attempts. I thought that was an interesting line, but this one's really determined on game script. You know what I mean? So if they come out and get the ball to start it off, you know he's going to grab 4 or 5 if they're moving and grooving right off the rip. So that was my biggest fear on that prop. I like Matt Stafford. I know it's juice minus 145 over 1.5 passing TDs. I think that goes well over. But yeah, I think that's my main looks on those 2 games. I don't really have a side Rams Lions. I'm very in the middle, so I'm not going to play one of those personally.
I agree. Let's get into it then. We have a half an hour till the first game starts. First touchdown score for this game. Do you have any looks? And please ask any questions before we end the show, guys. I want to be able to answer some questions. This is kind of sneaky, not going to lie. I kind of like that, sir.
Yeah, I know Dr. Prophet William is playing that. I love that look. I think that's a really good spot.
Yeah, I think he plays him every week, honestly. He's a Lions fan, so he definitely pays attention to how they perform on offense, I'm not going to lie. Who was your first touchdown score? I went first last time, so I'll be nice and allow you to go first this time.
Amon-Ra plus 900 on DK. I know we can't touch those, but I'm guessing you can find it at plus 1,000 somewhere.
I actually don't see it, but plus 900 on the line where we'll allow it.
I'll change it up, but that's my if I had to pick one. I just think
pick it. It's plus 900. I like that.
I think ARSB is going to get in here. He's nasty against play action as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see him take the top off with a big play action early. Just kind of feels right.
I'm going all in on Demarcus Robinson. Give me
you might as well ride with your guy. You know
plus 2,200 on DK.
All you need is that one play. That would be a double cash. Tutu Atwell's injured, right?
He's basically taken over his snaps.
I was going to say I haven't seen him play in weeks. I'm not sure.
I don't know if he's injured or if he just took over the spot.
You know, he's playing. He has a DK line, but he doesn't play anymore.
Yeah, he just took over the third wide receiver spot.
He was showing some flash early on in the year. It's kind of crazy to see him just completely out of there.
Our man D-Rob, what can I say? I say?
Tutu I've not seen a sniff of him in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
This guy said, do you like Amon-Ra? You posted that, right? You like that?
Love it. That's one of my favorite spots. It's becoming public just because he's a popular receiver, but I mean, the hit rate's there. You can't deny that. I'm pulling up my write-up right now. 11 of 16 games this year he's covered. 6 of 7 games this year at home. Like, yeah, this one I feel like there's not too much detail you can give. The guy dominates against anyone and everyone. You know what I mean? 87.5 yards. He's been consistent. I love the spot. I'm riding with it.
I like it. Well, that's it, guys. Go enjoy your wings. Go enjoy your beers, whatever you want to do. However you want to watch the game, whether you're a green tea guy, water, I don't even care. We got playoff football. Go enjoy it. Let's have ourselves a day. I'm super pumped. I'm excited. Best of luck on your bets today. We'll catch you guys maybe tomorrow for a show because it is Monday. We have 2 games. but not decided yet. Peace out and let's cash.